Good afternoon, everybody. YouTube, Facebook. Welcome back to Cooking, Canning, and Baking with Michael. So I'm getting ready to make my birthday enchiladas, and I'm sorry the place is a mess. It's one of those, you know, dirty every pan in the house type things. So what I've got going on my stove here, you can't see it real well. I have some ground beef. You can use shredded beef or chicken. I'm just going simple today and using ground beef. And I chopped up an onion to put in here with it. And I'm going to add some green chilies. The green chilies will give it a really, really good flavor inside the enchiladas. Okay. Alright, we're going to let that finish frying. Over here I've got a small little station set up for making and rolling my enchiladas. I've got a pan over here that's got some enchilada sauce in the bottom ready to go. And once this hamburger is done, we'll be able to go ahead and assemble these, and we'll still have some time before dinner to relax a bit. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and I'm going to bring this meat mixture over here. I'm going to get me a small spoon. And we're just going to put a little bit of the meat mixture in the middle. I'm going to sprinkle just a bit of Colby Jack on here. And a little bit of a Mexican blend. There we go. The cheddar, of course, is cheddar and jack, and then this has got Monterey Jack, more cheddar, asadero, and queso quesadilla cheeses. And then we're just going to attempt to roll this up. And we're going to put it in the pan, seam side down. I will include the recipe that I'm kind of following here. Can't really go bad with enchiladas. Now the recipe calls for you to heat the tortillas up temporarily, or not temporarily, but heat them up in a little bit of oil, and it's probably the type of tortillas I bought. I bought a cheap store brand, and they just fell apart. So, and you don't want to fry them crisp. So I'm just going to try to bypass that process and work with it the best that I can here. Hoping the enchilada sauce will soften it up a bit. Turned 60 years old today. My father and I have always had a kind of a running joke. My father's exactly, well, not exactly, but my father is 20 minutes. 20 minutes. My father is 20 years older than I am. So I'm turning 60. He's already 80. And we used to joke that we were going to end up in the same retirement home together. So he called me this morning and said, we finally did it. We reached 60 and 80. And so he left a message. I was laying down at the time. And I tried calling him back, but haven't been able to reach him yet. "60 years old. Whoop. Didn't want to do that. Well, I can. It's fine. "60 years old. Let me put that in a little perspective for you younger people out there. So I was born in 1960. There were no computers. I didn't see a computer until I was in my 20s, so in the 80s. Well, I saw a computer one time where my dad worked. Big old monstrous thing. And it was basically just a number cruncher, I believe. But yeah, there were no personal computers. There were no cell phones. It was a different era. As I mentioned before, born in Detroit, at Detroit Women's Hospital. I don't think it's there any longer. Lived in a little house. The one that I remember the most was on Terry Street. Terry in West Chicago. I guess it was considered the west side of Detroit. I don't know. But back then you could let your kids go out and play. Not be worried about any kidnapping. Well, I mean, it happened. Maybe it happened more than we thought. I guess it just didn't get, we didn't have the news either back then like we do now. News you only got like 10 o'clock at night or there, 11:30. And I think you also got the nightly news with Walter Cronkite and things like that. But yeah, but you could let the kids play. out in the street. Let them run up to the store on their own. Oh, we did lock the doors at night. It was just the safe thing to do. I remember visiting the Detroit Zoo several times as a child. There used to be an amusement park called Edgewater Park, and we would go there usually in the summertime. The family would go. I was never a roller coaster person when I was younger. Nowadays it's all ride, but yeah, I guess I had a real fear of roller coasters, and so I would, my family, rest of the family, my brother, my mother, and the father would get on them and ride them, and they'd let me just wait at the bottom for them to come out off the ride, and I didn't have any fear of being grabbed or kidnapped, even in a setting like that. So they were good days. We used to play out on the front lawn in the grass, roll in the grass. Oh, we would itch so bad after that. But yeah, 1960s Detroit. It was a beautiful city. Still is a beautiful city. It's got good bones. It'll come back. You watch it. This city is it'll come back. Give it some time. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do, since I've got some meat mixture left over, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 enchiladas in here. I'm going to pour some enchilada sauce on top of those. Maybe throw some cheese on them. Just a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and do another layer. So I'll be back when I've got that done. Alrighty, we're almost done here. This will be 20 enchiladas. I'm painting my tortillas with a little enchilada sauce, at least on the inside, so that'll give them some flavor as well on the inside. And for this, you can use, I prefer using corn tortillas. I like the flavor of the corn tortilla. Or you can use flour, whichever you prefer. Whatever makes you happy. Oh, let's see, I might get one more in here, which will make this 21. That sounds like a hold to me, for you fellow blackjack players out there. 21 is a hold. I'll have some meat mixture left over, and I'll just put that in a bag, throw it in the freezer, use it for tacos or something in the future. Alrighty. One more. So that'd be 22. These will freeze really well too. Once they're done cooking, any leftovers, just cut them up into individual servings or however you want to divide it up, and wrap it up, throw it in the freezer, and they will get better as they age. Alrighty. So, what a mess, what a mess. But hey, it's my birthday, right? Gotta celebrate the birthday. Let me get another can of enchilada sauce here. I shared in a video yesterday that I like using this sauce, Macayo's mild enchilada sauce. It has a lot of good flavor. The recipe that I'm including will also include how to make sauce if you want to try making it at home. We'll make sure they get good and covered in the sauce. To me, sauce is what makes the enchilada. So I want to make sure that everything gets coated real good in enchilada sauce. And then when it cooks up, it's going to get all bubbly and cheesy. And I'm going to throw some cheese on the top. I hate these little tiny bags where you can't even get your hand in. Here. There we go. Now don't go crazy on me, but I like cheese. You put on however much cheese you want to put on. I'm a big cheese person, so I like mine to be covered in cheese. Alrighty. So there's those enchiladas. They're unbaked right now. I'm going to set them over here on the stove. And we're going to cover them with some foil. I'm going to let them sit for a while. I'll put them on in about 15 minutes or so. I'm going to get this place cleaned up. And I'll be back when they're done to show you the end product. Make sure you hang around to the end so you can get the recipe. Alrighty? Alright, bye. Alrighty guys, enchiladas are almost done. They got about another 6 minutes to go. Here's my birthday cake I baked for myself today. It's a cherry chip. Takes me back to my younger days. It was my favorite cake as a kid. I loved cherry chip, so they still make it. I saw it in the store the other day, well, quite a while back ago, and I bought it, had it up in the cupboard. So we're alone this year on the birthday for the big 60, and my brother and nephew would be over here celebrating with me, but my brother fell and either bruised or broke a rib, we're not sure. So he's at home trying to recover from that. And so we're just going to spend the birthday alone. And that's fine. 60 years old. 60 years. My, how they go by in a blink. Alright, I'll be back when the enchiladas are done. Alrighty, here's the recipe for this. I'll include it down below in the comment as well. But I used about 1 pound of ground beef, and I used 80-20 as far as a fat ratio goes. 1 onion finely chopped and a half a teaspoon of salt. So I just browned that all up in a pan, and then I added 2 4-ounce cans of diced green chilies to that mixture. And then the rest, you need about 10 to 14 corn tortillas, or you can use flour if you prefer. There are other ingredients on here that I didn't include. You can use a half or 1 cup of chopped green onions, a half a cup of chopped black olives. I used a variety of cheeses you saw in the video. This recipe says 3 cups of grated sharp cheddar cheese, but I used a Mexican blend, a Monterey, cheddar jack blend, and that's all that I used. So, and then you can use cilantro for garnish if you'd like to do that. So I basically prepared the meat mixture, and then you saw me here on the cutting board. I brushed the enchiladas with some enchilada sauce. I poured some enchilada sauce in the bottom of the pan, and put the meat mixture in the middle, sprinkled with a little cheese, rolled them up, put them in the pan. I did 2 layers, and then we covered it all up with enchilada sauce. By the way, I used 2 whole cans of this Macayo's mild enchilada sauce, and these are 28-ounce cans. So I used both of those because, like I said, I like a lot of enchilada sauce. And then I covered the top with more cheese, and we're baking it in the oven at 350 degrees. And it says for 20 minutes, but I like mine to go until it's really bubbly and the cheese is melted on the top. Let me just peek in the oven and take a look here. We're getting there. Alexa, how much time is left?
You have 6 minutes left on your enchilada timer.
Okay, so we still have another 6 minutes. Hopefully that the cheese on the top will be all melted by then, and it'll all be nice and bubbly. I'll be back as soon as they're done. Okay, y'all, the enchiladas are ready. Let me get them in a place where I can show them off here. Alrighty, there we go. I put them under the broiler for a bit to get that cheese to melt on the top. And you can see what I mean by the sauce is bubbling. So we're going to let these sit a bit. We're going to let those sit a bit and set up. And then I'll be back and I'll plate it and show you what we got here. See you in just a few. Alrighty, so we're going to plate this up, you guys. So I've got a little bit of chopped lettuce here. I'm going to put on the side. And we're going to see if we can get some of these out here. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. All right, let's see what we can do. Not the best, but the first scoop out is not always the best. And then I have some refried beans. I'm just going to put some on the plate here. The refried beans were just in a can. They were the Rosarita no-fat green chili with lime refried beans. I put them in a pot, added a little bit of milk, and to thin them out, because I like them thinner. So just going to give everything a generous portion of salt. And we are all set. Happy birthday to me. I'm going to go enjoy my birthday dinner. And then a little later on I'll have a piece of the cake. And we'll relax a bit, watch a little TV, and maybe go to bed early tonight. So, alright, if you have any questions or comments, please comment below or shoot me an email. And remember, life is beautiful. Bon appetit. Have a great evening, and we'll see you in the next video. Alrighty, bye-bye.